Good afternoon, student. Today we will discuss about DIP lab, and today I am going to demonstrate you the MATLAB, the ID, which we will be using for DIP lab. This is the list of experiment which is available with our syllabus. Today we will complete experiment number 1, which is study of MATLAB environment and implementation of MATLAB command functions and programming constructs. Okay. So today I will demonstrate you the MATLAB and how to execute the programs on MATLAB. So while installation, you will come across two options, that is typical and custom installation. So if you choose typical, then the toolbox for image processing will get installed automatically. So those toolbox are image acquisition toolbox and image processing toolbox. So no need to worry about the image processing functionalities. So if you choose typical installation, those toolbox will get installed automatically. Actually, MATLAB is a proprietary software, so you will not get the setup online. So if you visit a college, you can get the setup from me. So this is the link of dataset that we are going to use for the image processing practicals. So all the images which are given in the textbooks are available on this link. Let me show you the web page. Okay, so this is the web page of that link. So as you can see, all the images are available chapter wise. So you can download this data set and you can execute the DIP programs. Okay, so we'll start with the experiment number 1. So first we'll discuss MATLAB environment, then how to execute the MATLAB commands, how to write MATLAB functions, and then programming constructs. Okay, so just like a C, C++, Java, MATLAB is actually a language and it is IDE also. Okay, so it just like a C, C++, Java, it has programming construct. It has a concept like data types, then conditional statements, then looping statements. So we'll see the syntax of few statements today, and as and when required we will study in detail. Okay, later we'll see DIP basic commands of DIP using MATLAB. First we'll discuss the environment. When you open a MATLAB, this is the welcome screen that you will get. On the left panel you'll have the current directory. Your current directory should be the one where images are stored, and you should create a MATLAB file there only. Okay, so that you will not have to give a complete path, only image name is sufficient. You can change the directory from here. Okay, so currently my directory is this one, images. Okay, which is under lab, because my images are here only. Okay, this is the command area. So here I will be executing the command. So normal operations are possible in MATLAB. Okay, on the right hand side, these are the variable area. Okay, you can see the variables that are created. Okay, so I have just created variable a, so the value of a is available here. This section shows the command history. You can write your entire program in a script. So for that you create a script. Okay, so for that you choose this option, or you can go to file and say new and script. Okay, so you should write your entire program in a script. So we have discussed MATLAB environment, and now I will cover MATLAB command functions and programming construct through one example. So now we will discuss basic commands related to DIP. First one is the IMRead. It is used to read the image from the graphics files. Okay, so let me show you the image that I am going to read. So it is under images folder. Okay, first I will open this 1.tiff image. Okay, so for that the command is imread, and we have to provide the file name as my current directory is images only, so I have to give just file name. So I have provided, so you can give the file name in single quote or double quote, and you have to catch that in a matrix. Okay, so here no need to declare variable, variables will be created automatically, and variable names are case sensitive, so this small a and capital A are will be treated differently. Okay, so now this command is executed successfully. As you can see in the variable section, a variable is created. Now see the dimension, it is 2D array of dimension 500 by 500, and the data type is unsigned integer. And if I double click on this, it will show the values. Okay, and notice that in MATLAB the indexing start with 1, not from 0. Okay, you notice that. Okay, and it will show all the values. As a is a gray image, as I have shown you, this a is a gray image, not a color one. You can see for each pixel we have only one value, and the maximum value will be 255. Okay, so this is regarding imread function. Okay, then next function is the imread function, imwrite function. So here I can write an image to a graphics file. Okay, so somehow I will edit that file, and then I will save that edited file. For editing I am going to use im2bw function that will convert that my inputted image to a black and white image. Okay, so let me edit that image. So the function is im2bw, so it will convert that gray image to a black and white image. I have to provide that matrix, okay, that is A, and I have to give a label. Okay, it is the parameters which are required is shown below. So I have to give a label. So I will give 0.5. The label value will have a range from 0 to 1. Okay, and it is catch in some variable b. So now b will be created. Okay, as you can see, black and white image will have only two values, that is 0 and 1. That's why the data type is logical. Okay, now I can write that image using imwrite function. I have to give which image you have to write, and we have to give a file name. So I will name it as output1, and you have to give a type. Generally in image processing we use TIFF extension, file extension. So I will execute this command. Okay, it should be created here. As you can see, output1 is output1.tiff is created, and I will show you that image. So I will read that image. I am read output1.tiff. I will show you that image through MATLAB only. So I will catch that image in output O. Okay, and in order to show an image, we have a function called imshow, and I will print that. I will show that image. Okay, so as you can see, okay, let me open the original image also. So that is imshow, and original image is read in a variable. Okay, so now I will open that image side by side. Now as you have noticed that is overwritten, that the previously read image is overwritten. So for that the remedy is you have to use figure, and then I will execute imshow and O. Okay, now both the images will be visible. Okay, so this was the original image, and this was the edited image. Now see the difference. As you can see, these three circles are not visible here in the black and white image. Okay, why? Because we have set the level of thresholding in this function, that is im2bw. this function does the thresholding. Okay, and we have provided a thresholding level as 0.5. So what happened, the pixel values which are above 128 will have one value. Okay, that's why these three circles got white value, that is one value, and these three circles got zero value, that's why they are shown in black. Okay, so this is the working of ImRead, IM2BW, IM2Write function, and then IM2Show. The next function is IMTool. Okay, so IMTool gives more functionality as compared to IMShow. So let me open this A image. Okay, yes. Okay, now again it is showing the same image. Okay, but we have more functionality here. Suppose I want to find the pixel length of this vertical line, so I can use this tool. Okay, so now this line is of near about 102 pixel length. Okay, so there are 102 pixel on this line. Then I have this functionality of cropping. Okay, I can crop a particular section. If you want to find the pixel values of particular region, I can click this button, that is inspect pixel value, and using that if I move this, I can observe the pixel values of different region. Okay, so let me open that. Okay, see here. So now if I want to observe the pixel values, I can zoom in there, and ultimately it will start showing me the pixel values. Okay, so if I drag this region, I can observe the pixel values of different region. Okay, so see here, these are the pixel values of this region. Okay, so this IMTool provide better functionalities as compared to IMShow. IMShow just displays the image. Next function is RGB to gray. Okay, RGB to gray function converts RGB image or color map to grayscale image. Okay, so let me open the color image. So I have this color image here. Okay, so I will open that. So what is the function to read an image? So we have ImRead function, and we have to provide the file name. So I will copy the file name from here only. So I have to cache that in a matrix. So I will create one new matrix. So I will call it capital M. Now I am not completing this command with semicolon. Let's see what happened. Okay, so it echoes the output of that command. Okay, and if I terminate with semicolon, it just execute that command. Okay, so remember, so you have to terminate a command using semicolon, otherwise it echoes the output. For example, let me show you another example. I am saying a equals to 10, so it echoes the output. Okay, if I say a equals to 15 semicolon, it just execute that command. Okay, so now I have that color image in M variable. Now let me convert that image in a gray form. So for that I will use N variable, and the function name is RGB to gray, and we have to provide a color image. So capital M is the image. Okay, and we'll execute error using okay, so actually this image is not RGB image, so I will use different image. So I think this one is color image, strawberry full color. So let me copy the name. Okay, now I will execute the command. Yes, now it is successfully converted. Now I will show you the image side by side. So for that I am going to use subplot function. So first I have to execute figure command, then I will use subplot, and now I want to show you side by side. So first it will have one row and two column, and first image I will show, okay, and it will be I am show, and which image it will be, that color image, so which is red in capital M, okay. Then subplot, it is second image in that array, okay. So by executing this subplot, what we mean, there is one row and two column, and one represent it is the first image, and this two represent it is a second image. Then I am show, and we have to show an image which is a gray version of that image, okay. Now we'll see the figure. Yes, this is the output, okay. This is the color image, and this is the converted image with the help of RGB to gray function, okay. So this is how you can execute the command on the command line, or you can write all this command in a script. For that you have to choose this function, this option here, and you can execute you can write all the functions here, sorry, all the commands here, and you can execute in one go. Next command is imhist command, okay. It displays the histogram of the image data. So we have just now we have converted that image to grayscale image. So I will show you the histogram of that image. Gray image will have value from 0 to 255. So this is the histogram. So as you can see, this on the x-axis we have the pixel levels, intensity levels. So it is from 0 to 255. So this line represent these many pixels have value, this particular value, okay. For example 150, so these many pixels have 150 value. So this is the histogram, imhist function, and we are going to see two functionalities based on the histogram, that is histogram equalization and histogram matching. So how it will enhance the contrast, that we will see in unit number 2. So we have seen different functions, okay. Now I will so we have seen how to execute commands. Now I will show you how to write MATLAB function and basic programming construct, okay. For that I will create new script. The comment in MATLAB will start with the percent symbol. Here I will demonstrate through one example. We will try to convert grayscale image into the black and white image. We have seen one inbuilt function, that is im2bw for that, but I will do it manually. So here we are trying to convert gray image to black and white image, okay. So first we have to read an image, okay. So for that I am going to use that 1.tif file, and we have to cache that image. So let's say we have got it in A. Now what is our strategy? So again we will assign one value to the pixel whose value is greater than 128, and we will assign 0 value to the pixel whose value is below 127, okay. So for that we have to visit every pixel value, okay. For that we need a dimension of the image. So for that we have a size function. So it will give me the dimension of this image. So size will return two values that I have to catch, just like a list in a Python. So we have to use square bracket for that. So this will give me the size, okay. Let us run this much only. First I will clear everything here. So for that I have command called clear all. So notice the variable area, okay, it will clear everything, okay. So everything is gone, okay. Let me clear the command area also. So everything is fresh here. So I will open my script. So I will execute these two commands only. Let's see whether everything is going well or not. So this is our lab 1. Okay, the extension of MATLAB file is .m. So I clicked on this green button. So two commands are executed. Output will be shown on the command line. As you can see, variable a is created, that is a matrix, and m and n are created. Okay, as you can see, the image is of size 500 by 500, m is having 500 and n is having 500. Now what we have to do, we have to loop through every pixel value. So we have a for construct here also. So for I equals to, we know that the array indexing starts from 1 in MATLAB. Okay, then for j equals to 1 colon n. Okay, and then now how to get the particular element of the matrix. So for that we use round bracket here, and we don't use separate round brackets. So the syntax is like this. This is how we'll get ith and jth pixel element. Okay, so if this pixel value is greater than 127, that means if it is having 128 onwards value, then what we have to do, okay, we need one auxiliary array. So we'll create that. So for creating, we'll use zeros function. Okay, it will create a matrix of zeros, and we have to provide the values, dimension. So dimensions are given by m by n, right? Let me show you the output of zeros first. I will first comment this section. Okay, so this is regular one. Okay, we have executed these two commands. Let me execute this command. So it will create a matrix B. So see, I will open this B matrix. Okay, as you can see, it has all zeros only. And what is the dimension of that? 1 minute. See the dimension of B, it is 500 by 500. Okay, so now I have created an auxiliary array. Now I will apply the logic of thresholding. So if it is greater than 127, what we have to do, we have to assign one value, right? I one, else it will have zero value only, right? Because it is already having zero values, so no need to have else loop. And we have to end a construct using end command. So if is ended, then for innermost for is ended, then okay. Now thresholding is done. What we have to do then I will show you, I will show first A image, then I will show B image. Let me execute this much code. I think there is some problem. Okay, I will show you the show the figures side by side. So for that we have to use what? Subplot, right? Subplot. So here one row, two column. Okay, let me change that. So two rows, one column, and this is first image. And first will show A image, then subplot, two rows, one column, and this is second image. Now we'll execute this. Okay, there is some problem. So let's debug what is the problem. Have you noticed the error? Here I am updating the same image. That's the error. Okay, so we have to write here B. Okay, so once again we run it. Yes, as you can see, this is the original image and this is the black and white image, and I will show you the output of IM to BW also. So for that, so there are three images, so the matrix will be 2 by 2 and subplot 2 comma 2, and this is third image. Then what will be the third image? IM show and IM to BW of what? IM to BW of A comma level will be 0.5, and that's it. Okay, so we'll run it. We can write clear all here also. Okay, so it will clear and it will close. So we have close all also, so it will close all the open figures. Now you can see here two figures are open. Okay, it will close that and then create new figures for us. Okay, so as you can see, this second and third images are equal. This is the input gray image. Okay, so this is how you can use our basic programming skill and basic programming construct to apply the logic. And I think this plotting is also clear to you. Okay, so these two parameters will first create a matrix, and then third parameter is the number of that the index of the current image. This is first image, second image and third image. Okay, then how to create a function. Okay, so now the drawback of MATLAB is that you have to write function in a separate file. Okay, so I will create this conversion, I will write this conversion logic in a separate function. Okay, so we have to create a separate script for that. So I will click here. Okay, so I will just copy paste this entire logic there. Function will start with a keyword function, then you have to write the return variable name, then you have to mention the function name. So convert to black and white. Okay, so this is user defined name. Then the parameters, so we'll receive A, M and N. Then okay, I am returning array B. So B is created, then we have applied the logic, and that's it. Okay, so this is our, and the file name should be same as that of a function name. Okay, so you save this with the same name, convert to BW, extension will be .m. Now function is created, now we have to call it. So we'll call that function, we'll pass A, then next parameter was the width, then height. It will return one image, so we will catch in B variable, and let's run this function, save and run it. We expect the same output. Yes. Okay, so this is how function, you have to write functions. You have to write function in a separate file. The file name should be same as that of a function name, and the syntax is little bit different. Okay, okay, so now we have discussed everything. I have explained how to plot multiple images in one figure. Okay, we'll stop here. One thing that I want to share with you is, if you notice my date and time, it is showing 2015, because I have changed this system date because I was facing one problem with the MATLAB setup. I think this is a crack version of MATLAB, and if we use it in 2020, it will not open. That's why we have to change this system date. And because of that, if I open a browser for conducting a meeting, it is not accepting anything. Okay, because clock is behind, then I have to update, and then my MATLAB will stop working. That's why I could not take today's class at 10:15. Then I thought of taking at 1:30, but I cannot take a live class. That's why I recorded this lecture. So you go through this lecture, and if you have any doubt, you message me. I will clear in next live class. Okay, so that's it. We'll stop here. Thank you.